In junior high school, before I knew the Lord, someone's saying, oh no, he's going to ruin his reputation. After school, we'd make prank phone calls. And we couldn't wait the whole day. You know, go home. I had a friend, and he'd get on the phone, and he'd sell vacuum cleaners with an Italian accent. And he'd call up a guy, say, I want to sell you a vacuum cleaner. And the guy thought that my friend was his wife. So the guy's laughing, and he's saying, oh, you crazy woman. I love you, crazy lady. And my friend is looking and said, what do we do? So he goes on about the vacuum cleaner, and the guy loves it. And then he said, where are you? Where are you? He says, I'm not going to tell you. And and he loves it. Like a half an hour. Finally, he hangs up, and my friend calls again about a half an hour later, but he didn't know that the wife showed up. And so he calls him up, and he says, I got the vacuum cleaner. He says, who is this? My friend panics and hangs up. See, when you're pretending to be someone else, listen, biblical principle, you can never, ever answer the call or give the hineni. It's of no effect. Isaac said, it's the voice of my son. I mean, it's a voice, that's not the voice of Esau, but it's sounding, it's a smell, and it was not him. So Jacob came to get the blessing, and Jacob got the blessing, but he came under false pretenses. He never came as Jacob, he came as Esau. Now God worked through it, we know the sovereignty of God, but there was something always missing in Jacob's life, always. It was a fight, it was a struggle. He didn't have peace, even though there was a blessing, he could never, because he never came as Jacob. You cannot answer. See, ultimately what happens? What happened is years later, he is wrestling. He's wrestling with the angel, wrestling with God. His side is touched, he's crippled, but he hangs on, and the angel says, let me go. And he says, I won't let you go until you bless me. What's the connect? That's Jacob. Now I thought Jacob already had the blessing, but he is saying, bless me, I need the blessing. And so notice what the angel says, or what God says. He says, okay, tell me your name. You get it? I need you to tell me your name, which, by the way, means deceiver. Tell me your name, Jacob. Tell me your name. And once he tells his name, then the full blessing comes. You shall now be called Israel. You can only answer the call, only when he says, I am Jacob. You can only say, here I am, when it's you saying it. When here I am, me. Not here they are. Here I am. Not I'm trying to be something I'm not. That's not going to answer a call. If I'm pretending to be someone I'm not, it's not going to do it. Here I am. Whoever I am, that answers the call. You cannot answer someone else's calling. You cannot answer your calling by pretending with God. You come just as you are. You'll never find God's perfect will in your life if you try to be somebody else. You be who you are, you come as you are with every problem, and you just come. That's the only way God can touch it all. And then you can find it all. Hineni. It's not proving anything. You're not working for a hineni. You're saying, here I am. Not even here is what I want to be, or here is what I will become. It's just here I am. That's how you meet God. Here I am, Lord. There's no point. Hineni. And it's not about, and so many believers are about, well, I can't do this. I wanted my calling, but they did this to me, and that church did that to me. You'll never find your calling that way. You'll never be able to say hineni because you're too busy saying that that's what they are. There they are, when you should be saying, here I am. It doesn't matter what they've done. It doesn't matter. And you will not fulfill your calling by comparing yourself to somebody else. You are not them and they are not you. Only you can fulfill your calling. That's why God says to say, here I am. Some believers are waiting until they're right. Some of you are waiting till you're right with God, or everything's right. We got to be right with God, but everything's right in your life, and you're going to reach this point, and then you'll serve Him. That's not it. That's not here I am. Here I am. Hineni has no footnote to say yes, but only when I do this, this, this. You'll never fulfill your calling because you're never going to be completely right with God, and things in your life are never going to be completely right. That's not how it happens. The people who found their calling said, here I am, regardless of what was around them. You don't wait till you're worthy of your call. You're never going to be. You say, here I am anyway. Abraham said, here I am, and he kept coming. And Abraham said it when he was old. So what it's saying is we never stop. This is not just for new believers or non-believers. This is for the believer. We are never to stop saying Hineni God. That's the whole point. We got to be like that with God our whole life, and we'll never stop growing. You come as you are. In the Bible, you read about the people who said, here I am. You don't read so much about the people who didn't say it. There's no book of the prophet who said, no, I'm not saying here I am. Ananias and Sapphira, they pretended to be something they weren't, and they never fulfilled their calling.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Hope of the World is dedicated to the goal of spreading God's Word and salvation to every land and people. We do this by spreading the Word throughout the world and sponsoring compassion projects to the most poor and needy around the earth. To get in touch or have a part in God's work, just write to Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Or go to hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821.